Are you struggling to keep up with all of your social media accounts? As a blogger, it is impossible to make sure you are active consistently on every single social media account that you have and still be able to create good quality content for your blog. That's why in this video, I'll be showing you how to easily schedule a month of social media posts with a content calendar. I'll also be telling you what it is, how to fill it up, and I'll be giving you a sneak peek look into my personal content calendar so that you can see how to use it for yourself. Let's get started. The first question I want to answer is, why do you actually need a social media content calendar? Now, some of you may have heard of an editorial calendar or a content calendar for your blog, but it's actually popular to use one for your social media posts as well, and for a lot of the same reasons too. You will never wonder what you have to post. If you use a social media content calendar, you can actually sit down at the beginning of the month or the beginning of the week, whichever you choose to do, and you can actually plan out exactly what you want to post for every single day, for every single platform if you'd like. This also helps with batch creating content. Batch creating content is something that I like to do to save a lot of time, where it's essentially you do a lot of the same task in one sitting. So for example, as opposed to posting a tweet every single day, I can batch create my tweets once a week and then have them go out through the rest of the week. If you want to learn a little bit more about batch creating content, I wrote a blog post on this that teaching you exactly how you can batch create a lot of the tasks that you do for your blog to save time. I'll leave a link down below in the description if you want to check it out. You can also schedule posts in advance, which I mentioned a little bit. If you start at the beginning of the month or the beginning of the week, you batch create all of your content, then you can actually schedule it using social media schedulers to make sure that they'll go out at the right time for your audience, and you don't have to think about what you need to post every single day. So now I want to go over how you can actually fill up your social media content calendar. So the first thing you want to do is actually decide what platforms you're going to be promoting on. It's important that in the beginning you don't try to be on every single platform at once, because you are just going to overwhelm yourself. You do not need to be on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Snapchat, whatever social media sites that you want to use, on top of writing blog posts and on top of probably also having an email list as well. It's just way too much content that you need to get out there. There's different strategies that you have to go about for each social media platform. So you really want to focus on 1 to 2 social media platforms and start out with those, master those, gain a following, and then move on to other platforms. I recommend starting with Pinterest, but this content calendar really isn't for Pinterest because there's a lot of things that go into Pinterest, and this content calendar that I'm showing you today really isn't designed for Pinterest. So if you want me to teach you exactly what I do to schedule my posts onto Pinterest, I can definitely create a video for that. So let me know in the comments below if you want to see a video on that. But for this video, I really want to focus on specifically Twitter, but this will also work for Facebook and Instagram as well. You want to figure out where your audience is and what platforms that you'd like to be active on. If you want to find out what social media platforms are best for you and your business, I have a guest post that is posted on my blog. If you want to check it out, which is what social media platforms are best for your business, I'll leave a link down below in the description if you want to check it out. But essentially, you just want to try and decide what social media platforms are going to be best for you and your business. I do recommend creating a Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter account, but you don't have to be consistently active and consistently promoting on them all at once. You are eventually likely going to expand into all of those areas, so you want to have the accounts set up so that when you do eventually expand, they are there for you. Before we get into tip number 2, I want to quickly ask you the question of the day. And today the question is, what social media platforms are you active on? Whether that be for your business or for personal life, which ones are your favorite social media platforms? For me, I would have to say for business, definitely Pinterest. But for personal life, I would say Facebook's probably number 1, and then Twitter is number 2. So which ones are your favorite? I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Step number 2 for filling in your social media content calendar is outlining your month. So for me, the social media content calendar that I'm going to show you today, I have a section in there that is laid out just like a calendar. And this is the section at the beginning of the month that I will fill out first. And I will kind of just let myself know when a new post goes out, when a new video goes out, and I will promote those 2 times a week that they go out. And then I will go through and fill in all the empty slots with whatever I feel like promoting that month. Any affiliates that I want to promote, any old posts that I want to promote, any other personal posts like quotes or tips or whatever it may be. I will put those in this content calendar and just say Pinterest with Elle affiliate or blog post quote. I won't actually write out what the quote is yet because I just want to get a feel for what I plan on promoting, because I don't really want to promote my post too many times in a day or spam people with new videos or spam people with affiliates. So this is a good way to get a view of your entire month so that you can spread your posts out and you can make sure that all of your affiliates are getting promoted, all of your new blog posts are getting promoted. So step 3 is I actually write out the social media posts that I'm going to post for the day. So the first one is just kind of getting the outline, getting the general idea of what I want to do, and then I will go back and actually plan out what your social media posts are going to say. Step 4 is actually schedule the post. So now that I have gotten the ideas, I've gotten the posts written out, I will actually schedule out the post to go out for the entire month. Now, how do you actually schedule your posts? A lot of the social media platforms are actually getting to where you can schedule your posts on the actual platform. So for me personally, on my Facebook group, I will schedule specifically on the app what posts that I want to do, because I think a lot of social media sites tend to prefer if you were actually on the platform scheduling posts as if you were to use a third-party scheduler. So for Facebook, I schedule directly on there because I feel like that's probably best for my reach. I'm not exactly sure if that's true. I know for Pinterest it is true. I don't know about the other social media platforms though. For Instagram and Twitter, I use a site called later.com. On Twitter, on the desktop version, you can actually schedule tweets onto Twitter, but I'm not sure how many you can schedule, if there's like a limit or something like that. And the reason that I like Later is because on Twitter, you can schedule 50 posts for the entire month. That is an insane number of posts. With Instagram, you can schedule 30 or 31, I don't remember. So you can schedule one Instagram post a day. And I don't use Later for Facebook, but you can. I believe there's probably 50 Facebook posts as well if you'd like to use that. And there's also Pinterest, but I use something totally different for Pinterest. So there are other options on Later. I only use them for Instagram and Twitter though. The one problem with Later is it was originally designed to only be used for Instagram, so you have to actually have a photo with the post before you get it sent out. You can't just send out a text-based only post. So if you want to send out just a regular tweet, you can't actually do that. But I have found a way around this. If you can't come up with some type of image that you'd like for Twitter, I use an app called Buffer. The problem with Buffer is you can only schedule 10 posts in advance. So I tend to use both platforms. Whichever posts that I can come up with, I use a picture for. But if there are any that I can't throughout the month, I will just simply schedule them on Buffer to make it easy. There is a paid version of Buffer where you can actually get more posts, but you really don't need it unless you absolutely want it. So now I want to go over a little bit more in depth on the content calendar that I actually use so that you guys can see how to use it if you want to pick this content calendar up for yourself. So as I mentioned before, I start out with the monthly overview where I kind of roughly lay out what posts that I'm going to be posting for the month. So that is the first sheet that you're going to see. And then I have a monthly overview. A tweet on Twitter only lasts about 17 minutes before it gets lost in the feed. So it's important that you post multiple tweets within the day. If you'd like to do that, I have this monthly overview where I have 5 different slots for tweets that you can put out along with the different times. Now you don't have to necessarily tweet 5 times a day. If you only want to tweet once or you want to tweet twice, you can completely customize this planner to fit your needs. And then of course these are just random times that I prefer to post at. You want to change those around as well to the best times for your audience to actually see your social media posts. And then after that I have week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many weeks are in the month. The one that I have on my Etsy is specifically designed for January, so of course you're going to want to change around the numbers and different things like that for the different months. On the different weeks, I will have the days, I will have the times, I will have the content so that I can specifically write out the different content that I want, and you can actually include a graphic. If you would like to figure out what graphic you want to use for every single one of your posts, you can put that in here if you'd like as well. So this content calendar is really simple, really easy to use. Like I said, completely customizable. It gives you 2 monthly overviews and it gives you a weekly overview if you prefer to schedule your post week by week. If you want to pick up this content calendar for yourself, I will leave a link down below in the description where you can check that out. I highly recommend picking it up and checking it out. It has been a crazy lifesaver for me to have a content calendar like this. And that is it for this video. If you want to check out the last video that I did, which is how to create a content calendar for your blog post, click or tap the screen right here and it'll take you to that video. And if you want to see any of my other videos that YouTube has specifically picked out for you, you can click or tap the screen right here to check out one of those videos. And other than that, I will see you guys Thursday. Bye!